the fact that this video wasn't even supposed to be this specific video, and I'm a stupid person who doesn't look at the things they're deleting before they delete them, sums me up perfectly. This clap has to be kind of perfect, so let's bring in. Hello, welcome back, Wicked Besties, to another video. That wasn't perfect, but it was close enough. And honestly, I need to get this video edited and up because it is literally less than 24 hours before this video is supposed to be going up. So originally today was going to be my January TBR. I accidentally deleted that footage. Don't know where it's at. Can't find it. So with that being said, you're getting this video instead, and then I'll just tell you my January TBR and the vlog that I'm currently filming that I started today, because this video has to go up tomorrow. And with the way the process of getting videos to upload on YouTube has been going lately, I'm probably gonna have trouble with it. So let's film this. I'm not like gonna rush this, but this video was already going to be a video. It just wasn't going to be going up until next Wednesday. So here we are. Plans change, we adapt when plans change and don't go the way that we need them to go. So with that being said, here are my top 10 like priority series for 2025, whether I'm trying to get caught up with them, finish them, or start them because I feel behind. Let's hop right into it. The first series that we have is the Gods and Monsters series by Amber Nicole. There are currently 4 books out in this series. I have only read the first one. And if things go right, the 5th book will be getting released this year. I think this is supposed to be like a 6 or 7 book series. Not quite sure how many books it's going to be, but I at least know there are 4 books currently out with a 5th book potentially coming out. This year, we haven't even gotten a title reveal yet. We haven't gotten a release date for it. But I'm going to assume that we're getting it because a book in this series has been released every year since it's been coming out. So, like, it's been like, I think it's like 2021, 2022, 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, and then 2025 was when book 4 was released. My God, that took me too long to figure out. And so 2026 would be book 5's release. So, and these books get pretty chunky. I also do need to get the new edition of these books because these have been like picked up by another like independent publisher or tri-publisher, I think. I'm not really sure which one. And so there are matte covers and they're shorter and thicker. So I need to get the new covers for this series, but I bought this book like 2 years ago. And I did not buy this book 2 years ago. Whatever. I bought this book and this is the edition I got, but I know I've seen them at Barnes & Noble and they no longer look like this. But these books get chunky and I want to get into them because I absolutely love this book. It was a very good book. Very shocking. I did not expect to love it as much as I did. But I love Diana. I love Sam Keel. I love our characters in this. And I can't wait to see how the plot and the world kind of like blows up in your face as we learn more. The next book series that I have here is a series that I want to start in 2025 because this one, technically the way it starts is originally a trilogy, but it's this whole world that this author has created, and that is The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. If you don't know, Robin Hobb has a whole world centered around that she has created. It's called the Realm of the Elderlings, and you start with The Assassin's Apprentice in this trilogy, and then it breaks up into like other series, but it's like one big whole thing, and I just want to start it because I have heard nothing but good things about this series from people who have read it and people who have read the Realm of the Elderlings. I have read this. I read this like a year or 2 ago. I listened to it as an audiobook, and I realized that I can't listen to fantasy books as an audiobook unless I'm immersive reading. And if that's the case, I need to be listening to the audiobook and reading, which is what immersive reading is. So I made a mistake, and I don't remember much of this book. I do know that we're following Fitz, who is the bastard of the youngest prince in this kingdom, and so he's been kind of raised on the outside, but like the prince, like the royal family knows he exists, but he's been raised on the outside by like the stable hand, I think. And yeah, that's all I really remember about it. So we're going to read the synopsis. And it says, young Fitz is the bastard of the son of the noble Prince Chivalry, raised in the shadow of the royal court by his father's gruff stableman. I was right! Fitz is treated as an outcast by all the royalty except for the devious King Shrewd, who has him secretly tutored in the arts of the assassin. For in Fitz's blood runs the magic skill and the darker knowledge of a child raised with the stable hounds and rejected by his family. Our barbarous raiders ravage as barbarous ravage the coast. Fitz is growing to manhood. Soon he will face his first dangerous, soul-shattering mission, and though some regard him as a threat to the kingdom, he may just be the key to the survival of the kingdom. I'm having trouble reading. Oh my god. This sounds good. It's the first book in the Farseer trilogy, and I think the books definitely do get longer as we go on because this book is like over 400 pages. It doesn't look like it could be over 400 pages, but it is. It's because the pages are kind of like very thin. And I'm kind of scared to annotate these. So I don't know if I would write in these, but I would definitely be at least tabbing them. So the next book series is one I just want to continue on and finish off in 2026. I read the first one, really enjoyed it, and bought the next two books of that finish off the series, and I've yet to pick them up yet. And that is oh my god, I forget the name of the series every time I pick this up. The Burning Kingdom series. It is a 3-book series. The other two are literally right here. That's literally them right there. But the first book is the first book is The Jasmine Throne. The second one is The Yellow and the Sword. And the third one is The Lotus Empire. This is like, I think this is like the top 3 like sapphic epic fantasy series that people talk about. And I'm finally reading it and I finally understand that I get it. I understand why we love this. In this book, you are following 2 characters. You are following Prince Melina and you're following Priya. Prince Melina has been outcasted by her brother and he is sending her away as a form of punishment because she did not burn the way she was supposed to at the prior or whatever. And so he's sending her away. And he sends her to this place where magic kind of exists. I'm going to give you a very terrible synopsis of this book, okay? But he sends her to the lands where Priya lives to live in this place where, like, magic happened. I'm really giving you a bad synopsis of this, but I technically don't remember a lot of this book because it's been so long. But she's forced to, like, disavow her birthright and, like, goes away. And the only one who can probably help her is her maidservant, Priya, as she dreams of a world of freedom. And so you kind of follow them along this, like, journey and things, the plot twist you learn. The ending of this book got me. I do very vividly remember the ending of this book. The ending of this book is very chaotic, very tense, and so much happens. I absolutely adore this. I think I gave it like a 4.5, and I have a feeling this could be a favorite, like, series of mine. And I want that. I want that out of this. So I need to finish it off. I do hear that there's some controversial opinions on how it ends, but I'm excited nonetheless. And so I'm going to keep my excitement and not let people discourage me from my excitement. The next book series we have is a one that is very, very long. And it is 9 books long, in fact. It is scary. I'm intimidated by it. I put it off, but I am no longer putting it off. In 2026, it is getting read. And that is the Zodiac Academy series by Caroline Peckham and Susan Valenti. This is a 9-book series. That's not including all the novellas, because if we include the novellas, then this comes out to like nearly 20 books because there are so many novellas after like each book. And this is like interconnected with a bunch of other series that the two sisters have, which is what this author duet is called. But in this book, you were following twins. I don't know their names, so we're gonna read the back of the book because I honestly could not give you a synopsis of this book because the last time I read this book was like 3 years ago, and I remember absolutely nothing. So it says, I'm a Gemini, impulsive, curious, headstrong, a twin, heir to a throne I know nothing about, and it turns out I'm Fae. But of course, there's a catch. All I have to do to claim my birthright is prove that I'm the most powerful supernatural in the whole of Solaria. And sure, technically that's true, as I'm the daughter of the savage king, but the bit they didn't put in the brochure was that every single fae in this kingdom would claim my throne if they could. In this deadly academy, vampires bite weaker students in the corridors. The werewolf pack has orgies in the walking wood at every full moon. And don't even get me started on the twisted ways the sirens use their powers on people's emotions. or how my sinfully tempting cardinal magic professor hosts tensions that leave people needing therapy. Classes are totally interesting if you manage to live through them. And that Gemini star sign I mentioned, it now determines my elemental magic and affects my destiny. So learning astrology is essential if I'm going to beat down my castmates, which is actively encouraged, by the way. Oh, my biggest problem is a dark-hearted dragon shifter who has his eyes on my throne. He and his three psycho friends are determined to make my time here hell. All I've got to do is survive, but fate might have other ideas. Damn it, why couldn't I have gotten a letter to Hogwarts? Yeah, I really don't know anything about this. I don't remember anything about this. I know this is like a bully romance, I believe, and it's like some intense bullying. Like, I'm pretty sure one of them is like afraid of water or like can't swim, and they push her into a pool. I remember that very vividly because I've read two books where that has happened. And if I had a nickel for every time I've read that twice, it wouldn't be a lot. But it's crazy that it happened twice, right? So yeah, I just been putting it off for too long, and I own the first three books, so I might as well just go ahead and dive head first. The next one I have is another intimidating one for me because this book crushed my soul. This series is going to crush my soul, okay? I have no doubt about it, okay? The first book in itself did me in. Chapter like 21 or whatever, something along those lines. Whatever chapter it is in this book traumatized me. This whole book traumatized me, and I can only see this series further traumatizing me. And that is the Poppy War series. I have read the Poppy War multiple times, in fact, twice now, and it has traumatized me both times. I don't need to reread it. I really don't. I don't need to reread it because I do have like a reread and resumes kind of like a series list in the back of my head that I kind of am stealing from Becca. Like, I'm not stealing it from her, but she inspired me to make one. I don't need to reread this. I really don't. But I also know that I need to get it over with. I need to rip the band-aid off, get the pain over with, saw my eyes out with this series. In this book series, you are following Ren as she takes the test to get into this really high school. Everybody has to take this test pretty much at a certain age, or not everybody. In this book, you are following Ren. She has been raised in this very poor city in the country that she lives in, and she wants to escape. So she decides that she wants to train to take this test. And this test is very grueling because it takes years and years and years worth of knowledge to take. But she passes it with flying colors. Much so, in fact, she gets the #1 score in her district, and she's sent off to Sitagard, the best school in the country for whatever she's going for, when war breaks out. Yeah, another war breaks out. This country has been through many, many wars, and another one is breaking out. So that means all the training that she's had at the school is now being put into practice. And there's just so much more at play here that I can't even begin to describe to you because I've caught put so much thought into this, and this is based off like real life things. I'm pretty sure just with fantasy plot twist. And I have book 2 and I've been putting off reading it, but I think I'm gonna read it in my next continuing series video that I do because oh my god. I also have a specific way that I annotate these, but look at these. Oop, my annotation thingies fell out, but I annotate these in a very specific way. But yeah, there's a lot to this, and I can't even begin to describe it to you. But I want to finish it off with the Dragon Republic, which is behind me, and the Burning God, which is a third and final book. This is another book series that I have started and just not finished, and it's only 4 books long, and I'm halfway through this series. I read the first 2, and I only have the last 2 left. I've just been putting it off. Don't know what for, considering I kind of enjoyed this series. It was fun, like little giggling times, and I enjoyed it for like the aspect that I enjoyed it for. But we have the Kingdom of Lies series by Stasia Stark, which starts with A Court is Cool and Lovely. I have read this one and the second book and really, really enjoyed them. In this world, you had people who are born, if you are born with magic, it is taken from you when you were like a baby, and then given a portion of it is given back to you at a certain age. But if you are caught with your magic, like you didn't get it taken, you are sentenced to the death. And so our main character in this, who I cannot remember the name of for the life of me, actually never got her like powers taken. And so one day an incident happens and it is figured out that she never got her powers taken. And so then she's, sentenced to death, but she runs. And she runs into this group of mercenaries. And she's like, hey, you help me do this, I'll help you with whatever else. And we go from there. There's a lot of political intrigue in this book. There's a lot of like world building to go into this. And honestly, I'm terrible at synopsis. I should really stop trying to give you guys synopsis because I'm terrible at it as I say these. But I digress. Like I said, I read the first 2 books of this series. I gave this one a 4, and I think I gave the second one like a 3.5. It just felt like it dragged a bit to me. But I only had the last 2 books of the series left. So I think it's just high time I rip the Band-Aid off again and just finish it. I think I put it off just because I didn't enjoy book 2 as much as I enjoyed book 1. But I want to see how the series ends, how we get to like an ending point. Also, the way the second book leaves off, I need to know. This is probably going to be a reread and resume type of situation because I read this one at the end of 2024 going into 2025, and I had the second one the beginning of 2025, so I remember like none of these. So the next book series we have here is one that I started reading a couple years ago. I read the first 2 books in it, don't remember, and now here I am like 2-3 years later trying to read it again, and that is the Halfling Saga by Melissa Blair. I have the first 2 books of this series, which are A Broken Blade and A Shadow Crown, but I don't remember them. I know I read this as an arc for sure, and I'm pretty sure I read that one as an arc when I was in like my peak reading era back in like 2023, but I don't remember them. So we're going to be rereading and resuming. This will probably jog my memory as I'm reading it, but I'm gonna read you the back of this because I don't remember what this is about. Kira is a killer. As the king's blade, she is the most talented spy in the kingdom and the king's favorite assassin. When a mysterious figure moves against the crowd, Kira is called upon to hunt down the so-called Shadow. She tracks her target into the magical lands of the Fae, but Fae land is not what it seems, and neither is the Shadow. As she searches for answers, Kira is haunted by a promise she made long ago, one that will test her in every way. To keep her word, Kira must not only save herself, but an entire kingdom. I kind of like how short and sweet that is. I wish all synopses were like this, and not as long as the Zodiac Academy one, because what? And if I remember this correctly, it's called the Halfling Saga because our main character is half Fae, half mortal, or something like that. I don't really remember. I should probably not say things if I don't remember what they're really about. But I'm excited to read this because I really enjoyed it when I read it a few years ago. So, and I love the covers of these. I'm pretty sure this is like a 4-book series, so I can finish this if I read a book a month. But we know how I am. So the next book series I have is another long one. It is currently 8 books long, and I don't think it's finished. I think it's an unfinished series that is 8 books long currently. I don't know if book 9 is coming out this year or next year. I don't even know when book 9 is gonna come out. I don't even have a title for book 9. I don't even technically know if there is supposed to be a book 9. But I digress. And that is the Bloodgrave series by Vila Robb. These are chunky books. I own the first 3 books of this series. Technically it's 4 because book 3 got split into 2 parts because of how long it was. But this series, chunky. A lot goes on in this. There was a lot of world building. There are a lot of terms in this. There's a lot that goes into this. And I'm going to read the synopsis of this. I do remember this. This is like one of my favorite series because I love the characters. I love the plot. I love the romance. A good forbidden romance will do me in every once in a while. But here we are. We have, when Cassius seeks out a Hesperian, he can end her mortal life in a heartbeat. But she has no fear of his magic or his fangs. She knows the real monster is a human king, her father. If he finds out she's bargaining with his enemy, he'll send her to the executioner. As a Hesperian diplomat, Leo must negotiate with mortals who hate him. Cassie is different, but politics aren't why she captivates a gentle and mortal. He wants more than her bud, and if he can't resist the temptation, he'll provoke the war he's trying to prevent. Yeah, this is a very much like slow burn. It gets steamy, but it's very slow burn. I don't technically think they get together like officially until somewhere in book two. Um, I think, no, I can't tell you that. I feel like that's a spoiler. But basically, Hesperians are vampires in this world, so this is like a vampire like romance-esque, fantasy romance-esque story. I really enjoy it. Like, yes, it is long, but it is long for a reason. It's not just like it's long just to be long. Things happen, the plot progresses. It may move at a slow pace, but the romance also moves at a slow pace. There's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of world building. There's a lot of characters you gotta get introduced to. It's a lot, but I really, really enjoy this series. I feel like I'm one of the few who do. I enjoy it nonetheless, and I really, really want to continue on with this. It intimidates me because the books are so long sometimes. The last two series I have on this list are actually, some of them are on my 2026 TBR, so we're doing two birds, one stone here with this one, which I love to see. But the first one I'm going to talk about is one that I've had on my shelf for way too long, far too long. I own all three books in this series, and the subsequent sequel series to this series. So maybe I should start on it. And that is the Carval series by Stephanie Garber. I have all three books in this series, and I have Once Upon a Broken Heart on my shelf. So I really should tackle this year in 2026. It is a priority. It is like my top priority for the year, probably. Because why? I don't know. I can't tell you. You can't tell me. So we're stuck at a crossroad, baby. But in this book, you are following Scarlet. So it says Scarlet, I don't want to pronounce her last name, but I'm going to try, has never left the tiny island where she and her sister Tella live with their powerful and cruel father. Now, Scarlet's father has arranged a marriage for her, and Scarlet thinks her dreams of seeing Carval, the faraway once-a-year performance where the audience participates in the show, are over. But this year, Scarlet's long-dreamt of invitation finally arrives. With the help of a mysterious... With the help of the mysterious sailor, Tella whisks Starlet away to the show. Only as soon as they arrive, Tella is kidnapped by Carval's mastermind, organizer, Legend. It turns out that this is Carval revolves around Tella, and whoever finds her first is the winner. Scarlet has been told that everything that happens during Carval is only an elaborate performance, but she nevertheless becomes enmeshed in a game of love, heartbreak, and magic with the other players in the game. And whether Carval is real or not, she must find Tella before the 5 nights of the game are over. A dangerous domino effect of consequences is set off, and her sister disappears forever. Welcome, welcome to Carval. Beware of getting swept too far away. So that's Carval. I had read this. I was back in like 2023. I think it was early 2023. I recently found my old TikTok page, and like seeing some of the books I read in like 2023, like 2022 and stuff like that is like a reminder of who I used to be. It's like a whole new world. A whole new world. Anyways, for adding this to the TBR, like priority series TBR. And last but not least from this list is one where the sequel is on my 2026 TBR, but this is also on my mental reread and resume list, and that is The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. I have read this book twice now, and I've still yet to continue on with it, and I now own all 3 books in the series. It's embarrassing. I do this way too often. It happens way too often, but here we are once again. This is a Dark Academia series. It is pretentious. It does not pretend to be anything different, and I love that about it because I loved it. I really did, and so I really did continue on with it. So each decade, only the 6 most uniquely talented magicians are selected to earn a place in the Alexandrian Society, the foremost secret society in the world. The chosen will secure a life of power and prestige beyond their wildest dreams. But at what cost? Each of the 6 newest recruits has their reasons for accepting the society's elusive invitation, even if it means growing closer than they could have imagined to their most dangerous enemies or risking unforgivable betrayal from their most trusted allies. They will fight tooth and nail for the right to join the ranks of the Alexandrian Society, even if it means they won't all survive the year. This is one of my favorite books of all time. This is us studying. These books are studying. Look at these ink papers. Okay, They are gorgeous, out of this world. And the character art, even more stunning. But yeah, I really need to get on this. Because like I said, I now own all 3 freaking books. And I have yet to like continue on with it. So definitely a priority this year. And that is the 10 books, like 10 book series that are on my priority TBR for 2026. We have a couple long series, we have a couple short series. We're just gonna go with the flow and see what happens. I just really want to get a lot of these read because why wouldn't I? Like it's easy. Some of these are such short series that I could finish within 2-3 months if I just read a book a month. Oh God, here we go. I'm holding this with one hand. It's shocking. Anyways, these are 10 series that I will be focusing on a lot in 2026. Maybe by the time June rolls around, I can do another like 10 series that I can like make a list out of or something. Or we can kind of make a video on like how we're going series wise. I do need to make another video because I never uploaded it during Bookmas because I kind of stopped Bookmas, talking about all the series that I am currently in the middle of, so that way when June rolls around we can come back to it and be like, oh my God, I finished this series, 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 and so on and so forth. But this is a priority series that we have. Like I said, some of these I can finish within 2-3 months as long as I read a book a month, but I digress. We will see what happens. I hold myself to nothing because I know myself and I know how I am. So with that being said, I hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, and whatever part of the world you're having it in. Like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. Down below will be my Goodreads, Fable, and my Instagram for you to go follow. We're going to be active on all platforms this year, okay? Okay? We're going to do that. So with that being said, I will see you guys in my next video, which should be a vlog. It's either going to be a vlog or all the series that I'm currently reading. So with that being said, I will see you guys in my next one. Good